Okay, I'm not even gonna look at it. I'm just gonna, all right, so I'm gonna hold it like this. I'm gonna let y'all see it first and put my leg up here. So all this came from some idea in November that I'm gonna start some school community, and I wanna teach all the things that I've done in my life to hack reality and create doorways where it seemed like nothing was possible. And through that decision, through that seed planted all the way in October, November, here we are in April, and this is what came about. There we go. Look at that. Wow. Pretty cool. All right, let's, oh, wow. Looks like something out of Minecraft. What do y'all think? Pretty fun. Oh, wow. Let's see. Let's see what people say. Yeah, these are kind of a big deal, actually. What's really cool, gorgeous. Yeah, it is. Let's pull it out. What's really cool is, from what I hear, they're going to be changing their categories. So they're going to be more categories in school. And then the school games, it's going to be like maybe the top 2 or 3. Now, this is just hearsay. So getting this is actually going to be more challenging. So I'm just like, hey, I'm glad I got it. But you know, that's the thing. You have to understand, it doesn't really matter what the external circumstances are. Like, even if they say, well, we're going to change it, you could still get what you want. But once you get that vision, there's some amazing, reordering of the universe where the things you want are just going to come in. And whether I got this and they changed the format and it's the top 2, or I got it and it's the top 5, it doesn't matter. The doorway opened for me when I asked it to open. And if it didn't open this time, I would have held the door open again and I would have eventually gotten it. So it doesn't mean the delay is not the denial. So let's pull this thing out. Let's see here. Wow. Okay. This is really nice. All right, let's put this down. All right, so there we go. Look at that thing. Two other people. So I want to go through what I learned, and I think this will be helpful for everybody. So some of the lessons, okay? So the first lesson that I got from school, and I'll give you an example. There's a guy named Mike, okay? And he has a school community where all he does is he teaches people how to play Grateful Dead songs. Anybody familiar with the Grateful Dead? Let me know. The school community is available for the public. You can buy it on the school shop. Rock group, yeah, the Grateful Dead. And all he does is he teaches people how to play guitar using Grateful Dead songs. But what he found was that there's just a lot of people, particularly men, in the, my ex-husband was a huge fan, exactly. There's men in the 55, 60 range to about 75, 80, 85 that were deadheads in the 60s and 70s, and they absolutely are like so cohesive. They love the group, right? So this was Mike's passion, right? And so the first lesson that I really learned was that the people that are doing really well in school, they're not necessarily doing something for money. They're doing something because it is a passion. It's really important to them. So passion, that is a key thing. It really matters to them. Next thing that blew me away, but it's also just the way people are, right? Everyone that I talked to that won and that was there, they had a vision. And I will tell you, you might think that because they actually won, they would be just thinking about how great it was and that was all they were thinking about. But at the dinner table, at the lunch table, everybody was like, yeah, here's what I want to do next. Here's what I'm trying to do next. Here's what I'm excited about doing next. And I never got the sense that they wanted to do it because, it's like, oh, I want more money. They were just like, I want to keep going because I love expanding and sharing my passion and helping people. In fact, the main thing I found was that people were continually talking about how they enjoyed the community and seeing other people excel. What was the third thing? This is where I get into a lot of challenge with people that teach abundance without action. There's a lot in personal development. I've had them on my show. I try to be like, hey, you got to take action. You've got to move from that state of the wish fulfilled. If the wish was fulfilled, who would you be? How would you act? What would you do? And this is the key. that is so challenging to set forth. That's why I wanted to teach this program. Every person that achieved the vision, they didn't just go, okay, now I'm done. I'm just going to sit around. And granted, it would be great to just sit around. But every person was like, I'm going to keep going. And now I want to try this. I want to do this. Because once you realize that your vision is possible, you realize something really important, that your reality is kind of like a playground. And the mind, the I am presence, the state of the feeling is kind of like innate intelligence. You're actually just creating another world. So you enjoy the play without getting attached to the outcome. So we'll talk about that. So action, right? Every person takes action, action, sometimes a lot of action. So they all were taking action. Now, what do we know about action? We make it really easy in this group. And I'm not just trying to sell the group. I'm just saying this is how I fit what I saw into my own context. The action is the bridge of incidents. Okay. Then we're going to talk about the next thing, right? Is adjustment. The next thing I found was adjustment. Like if something didn't work out, people there would adjust. And I heard so many stories like, yeah, I tried this, it didn't work. I tried this, it didn't work. In fact, I heard more stories of people failing yet continuing going forward, which is called failing forward, than just saying, oh yeah, I did this one thing and it blew it out of the water. There was so much adjustment, so much like it didn't work and then I adjusted. It didn't work and I tried this. It didn't work and then I tried this. And this isn't just for school. I'm talking about any situation you're going to adjust, right? And so that's why I say you got to take the pause, right? The pause. Because if you, I'm going to say this. I'm going to write it down. Okay. Make sure this is going to not be blocked by the award. All right. Burn the bridge. Sorry if that's not clear. Burn the bridge. What I got very clearly, right, was that everybody there at some level literally, we're going to blow up this bridge here. They literally just burned the bridge. I'm going to talk about what that means. That doesn't mean like, oh, they were rude to somebody and, they were mean. They burned the bridge. Bridge to what? They burned the bridge to their old self. Every time you have the vision and the feeling, you're lighting a little fire on that bridge to the old man or the old woman. And that's the old self. I'm not saying age, I'm saying the old you. You're lighting a little fire on that bridge. And eventually, the more you stack the vision, the feeling, you take action, you get a bridge of incidents, you get a positive result. Maybe you have a negative result too. And then you have to pause and then you have to adjust. But every time you put it behind action, you light another little fire on this old bridge. And you go, yeah, but I still feel like that old person. I still feel like I can't get out of this. But guess what? When you're in this group and you're connecting and you're responding to people's questions, you're helping new members, you're going through the lessons, you're going to be tuning into the new activations and things that I'm adding and the specific money, recipes and all the cool stuff coming. Every time you do, you're lighting a fire. Every time you do, you're lighting a fire on the bridge. And guess what? Eventually, you're going to find that one day that entire bridge to the old self burns down completely. And there's nothing left of that. And in reality, that's exactly how it happens. So they burn the bridge, and the new self came forward.
I want to give you a little tour of what's inside and what you're going to find when you begin to take the journey into X10 manifesting and abundance. One of the things you'll discover is that we get daily testimonials and results from people all over the world. I want to share a few of them. This was an amazing story from one of our guests who had not seen her daughter for 17 years and was actually, through one of the methods we teach, she created the fourth dimensional timeline of actually seeing her daughter, and lo and behold, this started to come into her reality. But that's not all. We have a lot of people like Roxanne. She actually had a very interesting experience where a certain amount of money was taken from her. She had in her seer projector, which is the 4-step method that I teach to show you how to tap into that higher timeline template of you, that spiritual power that we all have. And she literally had money that was taken from her account, you put back in, and then about a week later, she had a goal for a certain amount of money to come in, and it came in through a tax refund. And one thing she said was this was incredible because it was the exact amount that she had put in her seer projector. Ivy Rose has been working on an amazing book, and she had some huge breakthroughs after 6 years. She literally, after joining this book, pushed the publish button on Amazon and now has, as you can see, book signings lined up and much more. And what I tell people is the truth is there's a version of you already living the life that you truly want to live. There's a version of you living in that higher timeline. And what we do using the fourth dimension and what I learned is we create that first. One of the biggest challenges with law of attraction, trying to manifest, or even trying to do energy healing work at times is we stay in the same loop, the same pattern. In fact, it's like Albert Einstein said, you can't solve a problem from the same consciousness that created it. This gets into the truth about all of us as very powerful manifestors, but we've got to activate that power. And that's what I discovered that led me to earning more than $30 million and completely revolutionizing my life. This is such a key step. Now, here's another interesting story from Ruth Jean. She actually ended up joining the program, and about 2 days later, a monetary benefit that she'd been waiting on, an adjustment, came through in her bank account as a direct deposit, and she's blown away by this. You'll also see her amazing story in the video. Now, another person started plugging in, and through this template, we can create, outcomes, right? A healthier version, a more vital version, a more abundant version. We can create a version of you that's aligned to what you really want, that is living the life you truly desire. Anu actually found that once she shed the old version, her back pain went away. Another person, Bernadette, who had been wanting to have more abundance and have proof of this, she created this template version using the seer projector, and she had $1,000 popped into her bank account that she could use for things that she really wanted. And the truth about this group is this: I want everyone to be able to experience this and then know how it works. There was so much information about manifesting and how to do that, but a lot of this, to be quite honest, is a little bit regurgitated. I have been doing this for about 25 years, and I've actually interviewed close to 3,000 of the world's top healers, teachers, and masters. And while everybody has something a little bit different, the truth is there's a piece that I found that's missing. And the challenge is if you don't understand this one piece, if you don't create this, then very rarely do people sustain the success. And this is why, for the first time, after so many years, I am teaching manifestation. And now that I'm doing it, these results are amazing. And they're coming in because I discovered this. And we will talk more about that. But inside, we have people like Krista, who she has a medical bill that was adjusted to 0. She was so concerned about this. She had taken her husband to an urgent care. She thought that this was going to be like a massive bill. She said, you know what, Darius, I'm going to use what you teach to actually create the timeline version of me where this bill is 0. And sure enough, that's what happened. Another person, Krista, was just sent a check for $300 reduction in some expenses. Lisa, who had joined our group, actually that night, after hearing how to actually activate this template, her husband did things he'd never done before. He literally brought her dinner. So just very cool stuff. We've also got some amazing stories from Ruth Jean, which I'm going to play really quick here. Now, Ruth Jean actually is the person that got this amazing adjustment after 2 days. So I always say to people, what is it that's waiting for you? What is in that higher timeline that is actually wanting to reach you? But because we don't know how to access it, because oftentimes we're blocked and locked off through a lot of different things that have happened in our conscious evolution as beings, we're talking very much about the 12-strand DNA that we activate through this process. We have a very hard time accessing that. And that's why 99% of people live the same life over and over again through the same struggles. Let's listen to Ruth Jean, and then I want to give you a quick tour inside.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ruth Jean Kennedy from Boulder City, Nevada. I've been waiting for the universe green signal to manifest my VADIC claim against BA for 20 years. And 2 days into this program, while actually working in the module, one of the modules, I got my approval. I feel miracle just pour down on me. I feel home with my own dreams, hopes, and wishes.
So amazing stuff happening with people like Ruth Jean. She's a very powerful manifester. We're also going to be giving you this gift. It's a 12-point energy clearing gift that I created. And if you decide this program is not for you, you can keep it. I have no problem with that. We're going to make sure that you can have that. It's inside. If you decide the trial isn't for you, one of the things you're going to learn is that we have many different energy creation centers and we have connections to different realities. But the challenge is oftentimes these are closed off. And the 12 points are really key to our higher activation of consciousness. This is the version of you that can create the life that you want, that can create amazing breakthroughs. But so many people, 99% of people have this closed off. But once we open this, which I'm going to let you have this for life, you can begin to experience some incredible things. Now, really quick, I know you're probably wondering what's inside. Let me just walk you through. I know the video is a little long. First of all, I answer all your questions. I am very active in the personal chat. And if you send me a personal message, I get back to you. So this is a chance for you to actually be mentored by a multimillionaire who's not just used this, but used this to create my dream life. I didn't just, have abundance. I created the exact template of abundance I wanted coming back from divorce, from heartbreak, from hardship. And I used it specifically to create a business that not only served my soul mission, but has fed more than 140,000 kids. And I'm going to help you. And I'm active and I'm not going to go away in this group once you join. So one of the things you're going to want to do is watch the welcome tour. We do live coaching basically twice a month, but some of you are VIPs. And if I have a VIP access for you, which I've been upgrading everybody that comes into VIP, you're going to get 4 times a month group coaching. That means every week I'm here to answer your questions in a group call, but also anytime in the chat. You'll get the 12-point clearing down here. And then I go through the 4 secrets of reality hacking so you understand what are the 4 things that hold people back constantly from success throughout history. We're going to break those open. Then you're going to have an amazing revelation about how a physicist escaped a Russian prison camp. Then we're going to go through and talk about how to actually begin to use your intention and power correctly. This is squandered. Most people never learn this. This is something the elites or 1% know. We're going to show you how to do that. We're also going to show you how to actually finally understand presence, not just as a way to stay calm, but as a way to open doorways. Now, sadly, most people are locked in the same timeline year after year. And if you're here, it's probably because what you're doing isn't working in the way you want. How much more of that can you afford? How many more days, weeks, months, and years can you afford to stay struggling? You don't have to. These things changed my life rapidly. When I understood it and I combined it with my goals, in about 13 months, I'd earned my first $1 million. And I was stuck at about 60,000. That was my goal. Question is, what is your goal? Then we're going to show you how to use bridges of incidents to actually shortcut timelines. A lot of people say, I don't have enough time. I'm too old. You don't understand my situation. This will shorten the time frame. So instead of 5 years, you may have it happen in, a month. You may have it happen sooner or thereafter. You can shorten time frame. Then we're going to build the template. This is called the Seer Projector. We're going to build it. You're going to know what to do and how to use 12 powerful accelerators plus so many spiritual secrets that are wrapped into this. It's almost like the recipe, the cake to make it possible. Then if you have a challenge, we have 11 rapid reset keys. Plus these are designed to help you avoid getting stuck and not being able to move forward. This is where I take into account where most people will have challenges and we have the solution right there in real time. See, it's not enough to design a program that you think will help people succeed. You have to design something that will help people to pull themselves out of the struggle and the potential setbacks that will come. And when you do that, success is super highly guaranteed, like 99%. Absolutely, I tell, if you do this, you will see changes. And that's why we have so many testimonials. We have so many I can't even keep up. They come in daily. So then we have different modules on some very cool techniques. We also have a 24-hour AI chatbot that I have programmed with some incredible information and everything in the program that you can get help any time of the day, but you also can personal message me. We also hook you up to radionic energy transmission, which is very important to keep your energy balanced, especially in these times. And we have a level 2 that's all about money and increase secrets. Now, I got to tell you, people are changing their finances very quickly, but I am going in and absolutely showing you the real spiritual secrets of money that very few people know, the things that the 1% learn. And then if you really want to go all the way into 12-strand DNA activation, we're going to get into that in level 3 and much more. So everything is here. I know it's a lot. Just know I am with you to support you. I know we have a lot of amazing information, but in a very short time, in literally about 7 days, you can begin shifting your life. And I've had people just from listening to the free 12-point clearing immediately have started feeling shifts and had amazing things come in. So you don't have to wait. Join now. It's free. 7-day trial is there. And I do believe you are going to have an amazing transformational experience. And I will message you inside and let me know what's the number one thing that you want to shift. And one of the coolest things is we've got a super supportive community with a very high frequency. So if you join, please join with an open heart and wanting to connect with frequency group that is all about creating manifestation, miracles, abundance, possibilities, and activating that true human spiritual template that makes us able to create whatever we want in our life. And I promise you, it exists. It is real. You just need the recipe to do that. I'll see you inside.